Konbanwa, I'm Queen Kongsan. I just did a video that did not save, thank you Mercury retrograde, for that, but I'm at the last stages of it, so I thought I would whittle down what would have been a 30-minute video to do two things to hopefully a 10-minute video to do one thing. So while I wrap these, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you what the video was of. I am currently making Filipino lumpia because they're delicious and it makes me miss home. Hawaii is where I'm born and raised. Anyway, so the reason why I like to make gyoza and lumpia together is one, I'm cooking for one, even though, you know, like I have no issue eating, clearly, especially with quarantine. That has not been an issue for me. I've been like the reverse. I'm like, oh, I'm sad. I'm just gonna eat some stuff. But I digress. Because the recipes only technically call for about a teaspoon of filler, it's a nice way to use up all of your pork without wasting anything, so there's that mindset. And also I get two different dishes out of a pound of pork, so winning at life. The base of the recipes are both pretty similar. The only difference really is that for the lumpia you have to cook the filling because it's just like quickly fried on the outside. I like to air fry mine, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, so you get a pound of pork and you, I just break up two bowls and I cut up about anywhere from 3 to 5 garlic cloves. You're gonna go ahead and mince those. You're gonna go ahead and mince about like an inch knob of ginger as well. So it's easy to peel off if you use a spoon, so peel it off with a spoon, go ahead and chop them up. You can mix those together because essentially you're going to be using half for the gyoza and half for the lumpia. So exactly what you're doing with the pork as well. The only filling that you cook for the gyoza is going to be the Chinese cabbage or the Napa cabbage. That reason being because cabbage in general holds a lot of water and you don't want your gyoza to come out soggy and then fall apart, right, as you're frying it. So there's that piece. So that is the only thing in gyoza that you're going to cook. So you can either boil it in some water until it's tender and then take it out. Obviously you're finely dicing that. Or you can just put it in a saute pan and let it kind of wither down and then put it in. For the gyoza, you're gonna go ahead and put maybe about 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. My sister's recipe asked for sherry, which I don't have, and I like to save my sake for other Japanese dishes. So I went ahead and used the Chinese wine. I'm not gonna say it because I'm a destroyer of words, but there's that. I don't really put salt and pepper just because you are going to be eating it with dipping sauce. I'm like, I'll get the salt and pepper and all of the flavor like afterwards. It's really just the filling that I'm focusing on at that point. And then about a teaspoon of cornstarch to kind of mix it all together and then set that aside. I obviously can't show you how to do the gyoza because that part didn't save. But essentially, all that you're doing is you're putting a teaspoon in the middle, putting egg wash, it's literally just a scrambled egg, a raw scrambled egg, on the outside and then folding it. You can just fold the edges. What I like to do is start off from the filling and work my way out, just so that any air bubbles work themselves out and it doesn't pop open. Or you can, if it's a triangle piece, I like to fold the triangle up at the top first and then pleat and then just crease. So then it looks like a little fancy, but it's not obviously restaurant quality. You're pretty much the only one eating it, so who cares anyway, right? That's the gyoza piece. For lumpia, you're gonna take the pork, the cabbage, remember everything is cooking, right? So you throw in the pork, the cabbage, the ginger and the garlic, and rice bean noodles if you have it, or like rice vermicelli, I think it's called. Anyway, but these cuties. To cook the package of that, all you do is you take your little bundle and put it in some warm water for about 5 minutes. Go ahead and chop those up though. So I have kitchen shears, but that's just my attempt to be Korean showing. But I use kitchen shears to kind of cut them up into smaller pieces so that they're not really long, right? Because they're going into the filling. And then you also want to do your best to julienne some carrots and then just saute all of that until it's cooked. Lay it out on a baking sheet so that it gets nice and cool really quickly because you can't work with hot stuff with your fingers. And then, yeah, I can show you the last piece. So what I am doing is I'm grabbing some filling and my cute little egg roll wrapper. Kind of tilt this down. So I have a couple here that are already made. Now I can tell that I've already used too much filling in the other ones just because they don't fold nicely, but you're gonna go ahead and put that filling in the middle and then roll like a burrito. And then you're gonna wanna try and make that as tight as possible and then fold the right corner in, the left corner in, and then we roll it up. Now, before we get to the end, so it should look like an envelope at this point, I'm just gonna go ahead and brush my egg wash on the top of that. And ja-ja! Now you'll notice it isn't perfect, so that's how I kind of know I used too much filling, but that is it. When you get to the end, all that you're gonna be doing is you are either going to fry it or air fry it. I have an air fryer, so I like to use that just to save some calories since I've been eating a lot. If you are frying it, all you need is about a table, or not a tablespoon, an inch to 2 inches, I suppose, of oil in a pan, or in a pot actually would be safer. Or a wok if you have one, okay. To check to see if the oil is ready, you can stick a wooden chopstick in, and if you see bubbles, then it's good. I don't like doing that because I have fancy chopsticks that I can't do that with. So what I do is I grab a little bit of flour and I like to sprinkle it on the water. If it starts to bubble, then it's good. If it just kind of like sinks and nothing happens, it's not ready yet. As with all things that are fried, don't crowd the pan because it will obviously bring down the heat of the oil and then you'll just have greasy lumpia, which is not the goal. I like to air fry mine, as I said. So what I'm gonna do is I would then go ahead and clean this brush and just swipe one side with olive oil, put the olive oil side down. I cook it on the highest temperature of my air fryer, so that's about 400 for about 6 minutes. And then I open it up, flip it over, brush it with oil, and then cook it for another 6. It is very time consuming because my air fryer is pretty small, so I can only fit like 5 at a time. So I'm like, and I'm gonna go sit down and nope, I'm not gonna watch anything because I need to flip it and brush it with oil again. So it is definitely a labor of love, but the beauty of these is, so say I don't want to eat these right now. I mean, it's 10 o'clock right now. Oh, Jesus, it's 10:30. I don't want to eat these right now, and I have no patience for that right now. That's fine. I am technically working on a parchment paper baking sheet right now anyway, so I can go ahead and flash freeze this, which means putting this into the freezer for about an hour and then taking it out, and then I can go ahead and put it in a freezer safe Ziploc for about 3 months, no problem, and then I can just take them out and cook them as I need to. Or you can cook them and then once they're cooled, again, baking sheet with some parchment or wax paper, throw it in the freezer for an hour, and then put it in a Ziploc. Do not be like me the first time. I got really excited that I made gyoza, and I put it in the freezer right after it had cooled down. And then I had the biggest wad of gyozas ever. But I was just eating it, so it didn't matter. I would just like break off a chunk and then fry it up and steam it and then eat it all as one. So don't make that mistake. Flash freeze it separately, make sure that they're not touching. And yeah, that is essentially a crash course on how to make Japanese and Filipino dumplings, so lumpia and gyoza, respectively. Hopefully that makes it seem a little less daunting. I am gonna be folding these for the next million years, but I will see y'all later.